different. We started off today's video with a little bit of drag racing. It's something that I haven't shown on the channel in a few years, but over the last few weeks, I put a ton of miles on the red Corvette. It was a lot of fun. This was just outside of Bemidji, Minnesota. It's the second time they've done it, and it's at a private airport. This is a no prep, seemingly pretty informal, run what you brung drag race, and it was actually for cash. There was a ton of super fast stuff here. And before we go into the crack filling and seal coating out at my track, I want to show you guys this airport run. It was pretty cool. It was also pretty sketchy. So here's some footage from that. You know, thankfully, the guy in the S10, it's an all-wheel drive, twin turbo, I think, LS S10, and that thing ripped, and he went right into that Audi, and it's really fortunate that they're both okay. Walked away, no problem. I forget who actually went on to win. It wasn't either of them, but the couple that came with the two Audis were really cool. Could be about as good of a sport about it as you could be, and luckily everyone was okay. So anyway, that's kind of the short of it, and that type of accident goes to show you why having all the safety stuff is actually really important. So all the no prep grudge racing type tracks, the real small ones that have either guardrails or no walls outside of it on the big end, are pretty sketchy, and it's really surprising that more stuff doesn't happen. I've been to a couple of different airport races in the area, the only two that exist. Yeah, both of them over time, I've seen cars get tore up really bad when they go off the track and into the grass. So anyway, let's get right into today's video. We're gonna head out to the track and start a crack filling and seal coating project. In a future video, we'll have more on the yellow car and the red Corvette behind me, but let's head out to the track. All right, guys, we are back for another session of crack filling and seal coating out at the racetrack. The guys are already underway out here, and what we're gonna do today is actually go ahead and crack fill and seal coat the rest of what wasn't done earlier this year. And I'll go for a quick walk around the track and kind of show you guys, but pretty much everything up on the shoulder here, all through the midfield of the track, the center of the track, and outside, and through the staging lanes and whatnot is all gonna get done. So I'll take you for a quick walk and show you guys what's going on, but right now they're getting started cleaning up the asphalt, gouging out the cracks and whatnot, and we're gonna get rolling here pretty quick, I think. So the gist of it is everything we didn't quite get, like this asphalt's all buckled, okay, but I'm gonna have them crack fill pretty much all this big stuff. And it's bigger knot, hairline and whatnot, just so we can actually preserve it a little bit longer. But we're gonna go out onto the track and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here in a minute. So the area behind me is all seal coated, as you can see, and it's a pretty big difference from what's done and not done. They brought enough to do, I think, 6,000 square feet, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not, because that'll get pretty much to the, as far as I can tell, if it dries out enough, from the end of the barriers down to where they're working right now. So we're just going to continue seal coating as we go. What we found throughout the year is that the seal coating doesn't actually affect traction at all. It feels the same as you're driving on it. So I don't see it as being a downside or any reason to not do it, especially in this situation when the asphalt is as old as it is. I'm trying to keep moisture out of it and prolong the life as much as possible. So even if there's a little bit less traction when it's dry, like a little bit, it's probably a good thing because it's not going to tear up the asphalt nearly as quick. But pretty much when we're all through today, there's a lot of cracks that are real thin, but a lot of stuff like this, we're just gonna crack fill, and again, just to keep water from going under the asphalt and eroding the surface. So there's gonna be a whole bunch more done through here. Specifically up on the side, one other thing they're gonna do is come through and actually do underfilled areas. Like this is a little bit underfilled, so they're gonna top these off for free, which is awesome. So a little bit here, a little there, but pretty much once we get to the other side is where the bulk of the big cracks like this are gonna be. And what's also nice about this being crack filled is that grass doesn't grow through it, right? Before you'd have to come through and weed whack just about everything, but you can see where it grows, it doesn't anymore, which is really, really nice and saves me a ton of time, and ultimately it's better for the track. So these big cracks like this, there's a number of them all through the shoulder up here that are gonna get touched up. Pretty much trying to keep the edge from continuing to deteriorate and erode away. Repaving all this would be incredibly expensive. I think the number I've been using is about 32 bucks a square yard to do any paving, which actually works out to exactly what I paid for that little area that's paved right over there that we did last year. Oh look. A little turd. But yeah, there's quite a bit through here, right in the middle, the inside, all through the outside on the shoulder. There's just a ton of crack fill, and we're gonna get close to about 1,700 linear feet. We'll probably wheelie off what was done when we're all done to make sure that we're on the same page entirely, because I didn't mark any of this out. There's just so much of it, I didn't feel like it was worth doing. But anyways, let's film these dudes working for a little bit, and we'll see what we got by the end of the day when we're all done. That might peek out. One thing that was pointed out by somebody that does asphalt work clearly is that when the pavers came and did this patch, it wasn't sealed when they were done, which would have been normal to do, I guess, or there's a way that they can joint it better. But we're going to seal this as well, so the new and old is actually going to have, it'll be seamless now, and it won't allow for water to get in. But that's pretty much the gist of it. They're trying to dry out this little spot we've got over there because they're going to seal coat a lot of this area if it dries out enough. But all through here, as you can see, there's cracks and all sorts of stuff, and this is actually going to be something worth putting a couple bucks into again, because how it held up after a year of racing was actually pretty impressive. Especially through here where they're actually racing on it, like right through here, it actually held up really, really well. So some people are wondering why you do this, but up here in the northern climates, you get water under your asphalt, and what happens in the wintertime is it freezes and it'll start buckling and heaving your asphalt and actually destroys it. So ultimately what it's doing is preventing it from becoming worse. Probably down south, not that big of a deal, but up here it's actually a big deal. So this all held up really nice. I'll show you real quick. After doing a bunch of races on it, it held up really well, especially here where people were pushing through it and sliding and whatnot. It actually held up pretty well through here, so I think they may refill this one a little bit, but otherwise it's holding up pretty good. You can't really ask for more than that. That's pretty much the same all the way through there, so held up pretty well. I'm happy. All right, so they're underway seal coating behind me. And they're crack filling all over up there like I was talking about earlier in the video, and I'll show you kind of how that all ends up, but they're deeper cracks, so it may settle some. And behind me they are seal coating right now, and hopefully because it's pretty low traffic, it's going to last for a long time, at least many years anyway. But it's kind of a slow process. It's sort of like watching paint dry, and that's about it for now. We'll get up in the drone and I'll show you guys what it looks like up above. The old turbo diesel Chevy, that's a 6.5 I think. Don't see a lot of them running around, but that one's still up and running, so kind of cool. All right, let's go hop on the drone. I'll show you guys what it looks like overhead. Well, that's pretty much it from the track today. I hope you guys liked today's video. Overall, it actually turned out to be a little bit less seal coating than we had planned on and that I had anticipated paying for. This actually ran out of product. It was the end of the year for them. And yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit farther than we'd estimated, but it was kind of a guess on how many square feet. I think we'd ballparked 6,000 square feet and we had like maybe 4,000, probably not quite, but something like that. So at any rate, I got a pretty big area redone, but the biggest part of this is all the crack filling that was actually done again and then topped off what wasn't fully filled in. I feel like the track surface is actually pretty well sealed at this point, and I feel good about it. As people had pointed out in a prior video, when this patch was put in, it wasn't actually really sealed where the joint is all the way around, so it is now, as is, you know, a couple thousand other linear feet of cracks on the track, all the way up through the top, all the way around the back side. I mean, visually in the video, the track's not going to look that much different to anybody watching it, but when you walk around, it's actually really well sealed up, and we're getting set up for the winter time here. So there'll be stuff like this, it's new and all over the place, that you otherwise wouldn't see without walking out here yourself or looking at this with a fine-tooth comb. So that's about it for today's video. I appreciate you guys watching from home and afar. If you're local, I appreciate your continued support and everything for the Racetrack restoration project. Again, this is the only place we have to do this, so next year for our driving season, please consider coming out to spectate or drive. This is pretty much your one shot locally to do it that there ever has been and likely ever will be, so I do encourage participation. To everybody that's watching from abroad, you know, in other countries, other states, etc. There's people from all over the place watching. Please chime in. Let everyone know in the comments where you're watching from. It's kind of fun to interact with you guys from, you know, across the ocean that are watching this from your home country. So it's kind of cool. It's a unique opportunity for me to be showing you guys what you can do with a couple of bucks and a lot of hard work. That's about all I got for today's video. Please pick up a t-shirt or a hoodie at the link in the description if you want to support the track that way. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.